The director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, has resigned after learning her husband has a rare bone cancer. Her departure comes as President Trump is defending a controversial $1.8 billion fund meant to compensate his allies who claim they were targeted by the Biden administration. Here's ABC's chief White House correspondent, Mary Bruce.
Tonight, the president's director of national intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, announcing she's resigning, citing her husband's recent diagnosis with a rare form of bone cancer. Gabbard saying, "I cannot in good conscience ask him to face this fight alone while I continue in this demanding and time-consuming position." President Trump quick to praise Gabbard, saying Tulsi has done an incredible job and we will miss her.
Tulsi Gabbard!
But her tenure has been rocky. A former Democratic representative turned Trump loyalist, Gabbard was largely left out of key national security decisions, including those surrounding U.S. action in Venezuela and then in Iran. In March, shortly after the war began, Gabbard refusing to echo the president's claim that Iran posed an imminent threat to the U.S.
It is not the intelligence community's responsibility to determine what is and is not an imminent threat.
Okay.
That is up to the president based on a volume of information
it is precisely
that he receives.
It is.
Trump then pressed on whether he had lost confidence in her.
I don't want Iran to have a nuclear weapon, because if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it immediately. I think she's probably a little bit softer on that issue, but that's okay. Some people are. Most people aren't.
Gabbard is now the fourth member of Trump's cabinet to depart in just the last 3 months, all women. Meanwhile, tonight, the president is fending off a growing Republican revolt over his $1.8 billion taxpayer fund to compensate allies who say they were mistreated by the Biden administration. A group that could include the rioters who stormed the Capitol and attacked police officers on January 6th.
Mr. President, are you going to cancel the weaponization fund?
Trump digging in on social media, insisting, "I am helping others who were so badly abused by an evil, corrupt, and weaponized Biden administration receive, at long last, justice." But a growing number of Republicans denouncing the plan. In a blistering statement, Senator Mitch McConnell, the former Republican leader, saying, "So the nation's top law enforcement official is asking for a slush fund to pay people who assault cops? Utterly stupid, morally wrong. Take your pick."
And Whit, Senate Republicans are concerned and worried that this fund could cost them the majority in the upcoming midterms. It's a rare public break between the president and his own party. Whit.
Mary Bruce at the White House tonight.
Look, let's be honest with ourselves right here. The mainstream media wants us to believe that this is like an open and shut case or situation. All of a sudden, Tulsi Gabbard is quietly departing from her position as National Intelligence Director, or the Director of National Intelligence. But if you've been watching what's been going on with Tulsi Gabbard and the Trump administration, you will understand that this is, in my opinion, another move on the political chessboard. For as long as I have been keeping up with this situation, I know that nothing in Washington happens by accident. The headlines dropped, and the entire political establishment went into a tailspin. Tulsi Gabbard is out as Director of National Intelligence, and basically she's the nation's top spy chief, and she's just gone. And then she says, "Oh, well, my husband's sick. He's just been diagnosed with bone cancer." And it's like, okay, if he's just been diagnosed, why are you quitting the job this fast? You don't know how things could go with his situation. He could be cured in a couple of days or in a couple of treatments. Who knows? But to take on such a big responsibility, be someone who many people look at as like one honest voice within the Trump administration, and then just dip out like, "Hey, y'all, I'm out. I'll see y'all later," is absolutely crazy. Now, of course, we wish Tulsi's family well, but as political analysts, we have to look at the cold hard facts right here. Is there more to this story? Because we have to remember who Tulsi Gabbard is. She's very ambitious. This is a woman who literally walked away from the Democrat Party when it no longer served their best interest, pivoted, and climbed all the way to the inner sanctum of the GOP-led intelligence community. And behind closed doors, we know that there's been friction between her, Trump, people who support Trump's actions in places like Iran, and Tulsi being an anti-interventionist. You know, she has a stance where she doesn't think the United States should be getting involved in other people's affairs. And she's not someone who's easily moved off of her square because she was in the military. And she feels like she has a better understanding about things like this than someone like Trump, who, let's be real, he never served. Her recent hardline foreign policy maneuvers have been like an open secret. They try to keep it behind closed doors, but then she gets in front of Congress and says, hey, I don't think that Iran poses an imminent threat. While Trump is constantly screaming, Iran, if they get a nuke, they are going to bomb us. While Trump is deploying 10%, which is a lot, of the U.S. Navy to the Persian Gulf, to the Strait of Hormuz. Not the Persian Gulf, the Strait of Hormuz. But there's a lot going on here, and I really think we need to unpack it. And I know we don't have time because we could be here all day, but we need to know, was Tulsi pushed out, or did she jump ship before what she believed was an inevitable collapse of the Trump administration? Let's be real. These midterms are going to determine a lot for Donald Trump and the GOP going forward. And maybe Tulsi just saw the writing on the wall, and she was like, yo, I got to dip out if I'm ever going to have a hope of a political future. You know, the Democrats on the left, they're already gloating. They're running headlines screaming that the Trump cabinet is in absolute chaos, painting this picture of a White House in panic mode. But in my opinion, I think they might be misreading the room pretty bad. This isn't a crisis, because me personally, I never really cared for Tulsi Gabbard. I really don't care for women in any position of leadership for the most part. So the fact that she's gone, you know, I look at the situation like, okay, here's an opportunity to put somebody who I believe will be more effective and will be more in line with the principles of the GOP in that position. You know, Trump's movement was never, built on a single individual. That's what MAGA understands. When a gear grinds, you don't stop the whole machine. You just upgrade to something better, a better product, a better piece of equipment. In my opinion, this isn't a defeat for the GOP. It's a moment of triumph if you're sitting where I'm sitting. And really, it's just a realignment. You know, in this situation that we have with, the MAGA extension of the Republican Party, it's like football. It's like a good football team. It's just next man up. That's the mentality. And you got Aaron Lucas already stepping in as acting director of national intelligence to keep the mission laser focused, airtight, and unapologetically America first. We don't pause, we don't falter, and honestly, we don't even look back. So with Tulsi, if her husband is sick, if that's the real reason why she's stepping down, more power to her. I wish her the best of luck. We all wish her the best of luck. We thank her for her service, and we got to look to the next challenge. But it still leaves us with a big question. What does this shift mean for the future of American intelligence? See, right now, we know that not everybody can be trusted. Some people will get into those positions and act like covert agents or double agents against MAGA and against the party. So we really don't know who we can trust 100%. And I hope whoever Trump puts in that position is somebody that, he's very sure about. Is this could this be an agent of the deep state that they're using as a covert mole? They're already scared. They're already sweating because Donald Trump, in my opinion, has the position to bust the deep state wide open. Pause. Or did the administration simply get rid of a squeaky screw, right? Did they get rid of a leaky tire and replace it with something more trustworthy and reliable? If you guys stay with me, we're going to look at both sides of this situation. I want to actually even go to the Young Turks because they have some interesting theories about why Tulsi Gabbard actually stepped down. Somebody saying this is a daily coping session. I don't even like Tulsi Gabbard. I'm actually excited that she's gone. So I'm celebratory. I'm trying to keep it respectful though. I don't want to make it seem like, oh well, your husband did, but honestly, I've never liked her. I don't really like people who switch from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. I don't trust them. I don't trust anyone who was rocking with the liberals because I know that, sorry, there was an Amber Alert. Someone's Amber. But I don't trust anybody who was once a Democrat, man. I just don't think they can be trusted. And I'm so glad to see I'm glad to see that the people who switch from the Republican Party to go become Democrats lost in all their primaries. It's the way to do it and it's the way to go. But let's go over here to this Young Turks clip and see what Anna Kasparian has to say about Tulsi stepping down, because she has some interesting theories on this topic.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard allegedly got raided and then later didn't get raided. That was according to Republican Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, who made a pretty explosive claim about the CIA raiding the office of the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, but she later walked her statement back. So what's going on here? And to be honest with you all, even after walking her statement back, even after the claims of Tulsi Gabbard being raided were denied, I'm still pretty worried about what's going on here. So let me make my case. Let me give you the details. So to understand how this story developed, we need to understand the context, right? So it started with a CIA whistleblower making a pretty explosive claim that the CIA seized several documents that were being reviewed by Tulsi Gabbard's office. Interesting. What kind of documents are we talking about here? Now, I initially thought these documents had to do with the war on Iran, but no, that's not what this is about. So the CIA whistleblower, his name is James Erdman III, who was a former CIA employee and is now the co-founder of the conservative action group Feds for Freedom, said that the CIA had removed documents from ODNI during a congressional hearing regarding the agency's handling of the COVID-19 pandemic. So I want to show you that video and then we'll discuss.
When the digs ceased operations, the CIA also took back 40 boxes of JFK files and MK Ultra files being processed for declassification by DNI Gabbard.
Okay, so documents that were being processed for declassification. What is that about? Well, if you all can remember, Trump had said that he was going to be far more transparent. Let's all stop for laughter. But he ordered the release of all remaining documents pertaining to the JFK, RFK, and Milk assassinations. Now, according to Tucker Carlson, we don't have all of the documents that were promised, certainly not when it comes to the JFK files, which I think is interesting. But nonetheless, Trump also called for the documents related to MK Ultra, which was the CIA's mind control experiment program, to also be released. And as head of the ODNI, Gabbard was reviewing some of these documents before releasing them to the public, the declassified version. Now, Republican Florida Representative Anna Paulina Luna expressed her absolute outrage over this. She was on News Nation where she said the following. Take a look.
You also have some news coming out of the CIA that you'd like to share. Yeah, so we were actually just notified that the CIA went in and took documents out of ODNI, multiple boxes pertaining to the JFK files as well as MK Ultra. The reason why this is troubling is there was an executive order that the president had directed the full declassification of JFK, but then also to the MK Ultra files. The CIA famously has said that, all documents were released and other documents had been destroyed. So these are allegedly those documents that apparently never existed, and so very troubling. I did just talk to Chairman Comer, and we are sending in the next hour or so a preservation of documents request to the CIA. I have calls into the White House to the director of the CIA himself, and so obviously as this develops, we'll keep everyone up to date, but strange times we're living in.
Man, listen, I'm going to be real with you guys. It pisses me off when people act like they have like this smoking gun and, oh my God, what's going on? And then they start bringing up crap like the JFK file. What the hell is JFK? What are the JFK files going to help you with today? What is what the government has on UFOs? How is that going to help you today? This pisses me off because it's like we got so many more pressing issues to deal with. And in the news, like, they think you're stupid, and many of us are stupid. Many people are stupid in America. Like, I have friends who are still like, the Epstein files, the Epstein files. It's like, dude, when Bill Clinton was exposed in the pool with girls, with women, victims, you didn't even care. We know that because he was exposed, he was interrogated by Congress, and it was like, it's not Trump or Democrats, so I'm okay with it. That hoax is done. It's over. You didn't give a damn when it was the party you want to support, but all of a sudden you care so much when you think it's Trump, who's hasn't even been accused of really anything by anybody who's sane, right? And he's one of the people who was the main whistleblowers when it came to what Epstein was doing. We know it's all arbitrary. We know it's all selective. So we don't play those games anymore. And someone who is in 2026 telling you that what's going on with the JFK files is going to impact what they do politically, they're just lying to you. And like my granny always told me, if someone lies to your face, that means they have no respect for you. And that's what I feel, these women are doing. Do you think that this bimbo and this other idiot give a damn about the JFK files? Did they care about it when they slept their way to the positions that they're in right now? These people are nothing but ambitious journalists who will jump on any outlet and are willing to say anything so that people will keep on clicking and watching. And if you don't ascribe to that type of ignorance, then all of a sudden you're the enemy. Just tell me, what is knowing about the JFK files going to do for you? Did Trump kill JFK? And I even have friends who like keep throwing stupid nonsense like this out, and I'm just like, so you're going to allow the JFK files being released or the Epstein files not being released or whatever, you're going to allow that to make you, to influence you to the point where you let a country like Iran get a nuclear weapon, and God knows what's going to happen if they're able to acquire one. See, these people aren't serious. And what we're learning is the world is becoming more and more populated with immature people who grab a hold of things that they can't prove, but try to weaponize those things against common sense and rational thinking. And I believe that's what Anna Kasparian is doing here. I mean, if you look at just the bottom of the screen, CIA allegedly seized JFK, who gives a fuck, MK Ultra, who gives a damn, and files from Gap. Who cares about these two things? I mean, I'm asking you as an audience, who cares about the JFK files? How is JFK files stopping the murders that are happening on the south side of Chicago? How is the JFK files lowering the unemployment rate? How is the JFK files helping us keep men out of women's sports? It's not. It's just a bunch of stuff being thrown at you to try to throw your attention off of what's really important. And it's pathetic. The fact that the Young Turks even will report some stupidity like this is insane.
Absolutely strange times we're living in. Now, she also posted the following on social media, on X. So she says that given the nature of documents in question, we are sending a preservation notice. Docs needed to be returned to ODNI, given that ODNI was given direction and authority by the president to declassify RFK, MLK, and JFK documents regarding MK Ultra. These were documents specifically requested by my task force and currently being used for our investigation. And her concerns were echoed by others, namely Jesse Waters on Fox, who posted about it and then later deleted it, which prompted Olivia Coleman, the press secretary for the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, commented on a Fox News report about the allegations, writing on X, "This is false. The CIA did not raid the DNI's office." Okay. Whether it was a raid or not, I don't really care. Did the CIA go into her office and take documents? And I want to know why they did that.
Okay, so and this is where Kasparian is actually being honest. I don't really care. If they went in her office and took paper, I want to know why. I don't want to know why Joe Biden let 20 million illegal immigrants into our country. I don't want to know why the Democrat Party is being led by people like Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris, a nitwit. I want to know if the CIA took papers about JFK from Tulsi Gabbard's office. Like, do you see how unserious these people are? Do you see why we can never let these people have control of our country ever again? It's like these people don't even exist in reality. You a grown-ass woman talking about the damn JFK files when you had a dude in the office of president who didn't even know where he was, and you tried to cover it up and say he was as fit as he was as vibrant and fit as he's ever been. He was fit as a fiddle. You might not like everything that Trump does. You might not like everything that the Republicans do. But at least they don't try to insult you by telling you, oh, what you see with your eyes is not really happening. You don't believe your lying eyes. Joe Biden isn't a corpse that's barely alive. He's actually a vibrant man of 80 who can go run a marathon with a bunch of 20-year-olds. It's really disgusting, and it's really getting old. And the reality is the liberals, right, and the far left radicals, they don't have any good ideas. Just like Tucker Carlson said at Trump's New York rally, they're a bunch of unremarkable people who can only get you to support them if they are able to make you afraid of what will happen if you support their opposition. And I think the American people are very smart. And I think that intelligence is going to be put on full display during the midterms, just like it was put on full display during the 2024 election, general election. Okay, yeah, you talking all this crap. You're talking all this ish, but you're not doing it. You're not saying anything. You're not doing real journalism, asking the tough questions. You're not going to, Congress and catching people as they're walking out of the chamber and saying, well, hey, you guys want to take back power from the GOP, but what are you going to do with that power other than immediately move to allow 20 million more illegal immigrants into the country? You can't talk about, oh my God, the JFK files and what's going on with those when you sat silently while the Democrats allowed 20 million illegal criminal alien migrants and rapists to flood into our country. That makes me think that you're just not serious. There's no planet where that is more of a concern. JFK files are more of a concern than people invading our country.
I want to know why they did that. Whether it's a raid or not, who cares? I mean, a raid, Did I ever think that like federal agents like busted down her door and like pointed weapons at her and like, took her document? No, I don't think that happened. But the fact of the matter is that the CIA went into her office and took documents out, specifically the documents that are supposed to be declassified and released to the public. What is that? Luna went on to clarify after the press secretary for the office of the ODNI made their statement that there was no raid. Clarification: took documents that ODNI has jurisdiction over. Also, this did not happen today and was not a raid. However, it did take place, and we are just being made aware of it based on reporting. And that's a problem, right? That's a problem. The CIA is out of control, like totally out of control. Oh, the CIA doesn't want the release of MK Ultra documents?
Oh, so now the CIA is out of control, but when the CIA was saying things about Trump, they were totally trustworthy, and they were a shining example of accurate global intelligence. See, these people, they literally just switch, they spin everything according to what they wish to happen politically. That's not real journalism. And, for a while I thought, Anna Kasparian was on the right path to like becoming an honest journalist. But now I know she's not. I know she's not. And I think she's hopeless. I think the TYT money is just too good. And she probably understands that she'll never get another job in any credible organization or media outlet again. And why should she? She gets over there with Cenk and just lies and spin. To me, they're no better than someone like Roland Martin. They're no better than Roland Martin. Let me see. You're a fool if you think Trump didn't have connection with Russia. And guys, do you ever notice how the Looney Tunes, they go full circle? I've been hearing this a lot too. Now we're back at the Russia collusion hoax. That's all these leftists have. All they have is circular thinking. They have no new ideas. So they keep trying to run the same play over and over. Russian collusion. Russia's literally helping Iran track Americans with missiles so they could try to hit Americans and kill them. And you believe Donald Trump he's a Russian asset. That wasn't true when Hillary Clinton first said it in 2015. You didn't hear anything about Donald Trump being a Russian asset until he ran for president. And it's not true today. But they'll keep saying it because they got nothing else. They got nothing else.
MK Ultra, the CIA mind control garbage scandal that we have in our history. Oh, they don't want those documents to be declassified and released to the public. What a shocker. Wow.
Every time you ring the bell below, an angel gets his wings. Totally not true, but it does keep you updated on our live shows.
So this is all it is. That's all there is. Spin, try to make a story out of nothing. I mean, let's be real. Tulsi Gabbard's resignation is not a huge media topic. No one really cares about it. I'm only covering it because it's just it's something that I felt I needed to help people, gain perspective on, but it's not a big deal. She's going to leave, right? Trump is replacing her. And what we need to figure out is who is her replacement, which we know who he is. But what can we find out about this guy?
On Tulsi Gabbard's resignation, let's bring in Fox News contributor Byron New York. He joins us now as President Trump did just post this to True Social. Unfortunately, after having done a great job, he said Gabbard will be leaving the administration on June 30th. It reads her wonderful husband, Abraham, has been recently diagnosed with a rare form of bone cancer, and she rightfully wants to be with him, bringing him back to good health as they currently fight a tough battle together. I have no doubt we will soon be better than ever, that he will be soon be better than ever. Tulsi's done an incredible job, says President Trump, and we will miss her. Her highly respected Principal Deputy Director of National Intelligence, Aaron Lucas, will serve as the Acting Director of National Intelligence. signed President Donald J. Trump. As we do await him speaking there in Suffern, New York, Byron, I want to get your initial thoughts on this news.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard explained that her husband is seriously ill, so this is a very important family reason for her to leave her job. Now, at the same time, she has never been really in line with the new sort of interventionist Trump foreign policy, and there were reports that she was kept out of the loop when decisions were made on issues like Venezuela and Iran. So her leaving would not be a huge surprise, even if there were no important family reason like this. Also, by the way, just a couple of months ago, an ally of hers, Joe Kent, had resigned in a very kind of splashy way, and he accused President Trump of being led into war by Israel. And he was quickly shot down by a lot of administration officials, including the president himself. So that didn't help, really, Gabbard's standing. So even if there weren't this serious family reason, I don't think it would be a huge surprise for her to leave the administration.
Now, that being said, as you just described, some saw her as not fitting in with the current administration policy, foreign policy, policy as it pertains to Iran. Could her departure signal a shift?
Well, that is unclear. I mean, what she did fit in with was the 2024 Trump campaign foreign policy of no endless wars, not starting new wars, that kind of thing that the president has made exceptions to now that he's president. So my guess is this does not signal any sort of shift. Obviously, we've seen the president, first of all, attack Iran alongside Israel, and then have negotiations and a ceasefire, which he's continued to extend. He's been threatening a new attack in the last several days, but he's really holding off and clearly would prefer not to resume active hostilities in this. So the president is trying to figure this thing out, obviously.
I seriously believe that we're going to wake up to news that Trump has bombed Iran again. He actually is missing, he missed his son's wedding. He was going to go to his son's wedding. He instead decided to go back to the White House and said that he thinks it's best for him to be at the White House during times like this. So I think Trump's going to approve another series of bombings on Iran. You know, they've been watching Iran. You know, people think Iran's going to emerge as more powerful than ever. They're not. Their infrastructure is just, their military infrastructure is totally decimated. But, you know, these guys like to get in caves and talk tough. And so I think Trump is going to give them another pounding, pause, and then see if they're willing to capitulate after that. But, yeah, so Tulsi Gabbard is out. It's so crazy that the same people who, they love Tulsi, she's so honest when she says, well, my husband has bone cancer. That's not why she's really resigning. Like, I thought she was so honest. Why would she lie? People don't understand something. You're not going to agree on everything. And that's one of the great things about the Republican Party, you know, of which I'm a member. You don't have to agree on everything. This is not the Democrat Party where if you don't vote down the line with us on every issue, you're out. That's not how you run anything. You have to have some divergence of thought. You know, some people have to think differently within the party so that you can make sure that bad ideas are called out. And the other day you heard Kamala Harris, she was on a video call with a bunch of young people, and she said, we need to have a no bad ideas meeting. We need to have a no bad ideas roundtable. And you know what it means when someone says you need to have a no bad ideas meeting? That means you don't have any ideas, so you're willing to entertain any idea, no matter how terrible it is. Guys, a vote for the Democrat Party is just a vote for nothing. It's like I'm here in California. We're lit. Look, as much as the Democrats talk about these liberal freaks say we don't like billionaires, we don't like Washington stalwarts, like people who are just a part of the Washington machine, right? Career politicians. We don't like them. That's what the liberals tell you right now, right? Look up the California gubernatorial election. Look at the two leading candidates on the Democrat side. One is a billionaire, Tom Steyer, who has spent $143 million of his own money trying to get the governor's seat in California. And the other one is career politician Javier Becerra, who's only even close to winning. He might be in the lead, and he's only there because the Hispanics, they don't care. They're just like, he looks like us. We're going to vote for him. So he's up there based on racism. That's pretty much it. And both of these guys are total idiots. None of them are talking about lowering taxes or making things more affordable. They're preaching the same song as Democrats are. We're going to make things more affordable. How are you going to? One is like tax loopholes. We're going to close tax loopholes. Don't billionaires always say that? We're going to close tax loopholes for billionaires, but I'm a billionaire. And then Javier Becerra, he's just like, yeah, I'm basically going to just keep doing what Gavin Newsom was doing because I gave him an A+ when they asked me what did I think of the job he did in California. Those are the two leading candidates for the Democrat Party. And they keep telling you that they're going to change everything. They're not going to change everything. These are idiots. These are lemmings. These are people who are like high school dropouts. With California's 50% dropout rate, these people don't even have the mental fortitude to establish a new system within the Democrat Party. And that's exactly what the Democrat Party wants. People who will talk tough, they'll cry, we want to have green energy. But when their party just does whatever it wants to do without considering them, you know what they do? They fold. How do you think you got Kamala Harris as the Democrat nominee for president? They didn't hold a primary. They didn't ask their voters what they wanted. They said, screw you guys. We're going to tell you who you're going to vote for. And that's the way they do it. A bunch of supporters who think that they're tougher than they really are. But that's a whole nother subject. But I want to get into this topic right here. Mexico's president, and this may be a little bit old, but like they say, old but gold, right? Mexico's president, Claudia, her name is Claudia Sheinbaum, the only Mexican Jew I've ever heard of. She has announced that she is going to give all of Mexico's 120 million people. I didn't even know there were only 120 million people in Mexico. I believe it because all the rest of them are over here stealing my tires and doing Mickey Mouse jobs on my damn car engine. But she says she's going to give all 120 million Mexican citizens universal health care. But this is the catch. It's only going to be available to Mexican citizens, not illegal immigrants, not Guatemalans coming to Mexico for a better life. It will only be available to Mexican citizens. Now, why that's crazy is because while she announces that the benefits that she will provide for her people, her citizens, will only be for them, for citizens, her and other Hispanic leaders are condemning America, and MAGA especially, for wanting to create a situation where the services we provide for our citizens are only for our citizens. So if we do it, it's a problem, right? But if they do it, they're celebrated. Check this out.
Groundbreaking news out of Mexico, where President Claudia Sheinbaum just made it official. All 120 million Mexico citizens will receive universal health care starting in 2027. This is a massive expansion of health care access to citizens all across Mexico and a huge win for human rights. As the leader of the Morena party with massive approval ratings, President Sheinbaum is also reopening dozens of hospitals that closed down during the neoliberal period in Mexico. Critics will argue, well, how will they afford this? How is this feasible? But the reality is healthcare is a human right. This policy is popular. It's popular here in the United States of America, but our for-profit system is preventing American citizens from receiving the benefits that people in Mexico are about to receive.
So guys, this guy's an absolute idiot. He said, people wonder how Mexico, a dirt poor country where people leave the country to run over here, these people are literally trying to climb barbed wire fences to come over here and live in America, right? So they're doing all that to get the hell out of there. And this guy right here, he's like, Well, people say, how are you going to afford it? But they don't understand healthcare is a human right. Guys, listen, how we're going to afford something, when you ask the question, how are you going to pay for something? Screaming that it's a human right is not payment. I can't go through the drive-through of the damn KFC and order a 30-piece bucket of chicken, and when I pull up to the window and the lady asks for my payment, I can't scream having food is a human right, and then she passes the bucket of chicken through the window. Bitch, hot sauce is a human right, and then she throws me a couple packets of that Louisiana. That's not how life works. But listen to, just think about what this idiot said. When they asked Claudia Sheinbaum how she's gonna pay for it, he said, healthcare is a human right. He doesn't know how she's gonna pay for it. Hell, she doesn't even know how she's gonna pay for it. But all she knows is that she promised it, and a bunch of idiots will continue to turn a blind eye to the fact that she's 100% sponsored and endorsed by drug cartels so they could get a freebie. Guys, let's be real. How good is healthcare in Mexico really? Let's be real. Dude, they got free healthcare in Kenya. You know, I go to Kenya all the time. They got free healthcare in Kenya. Let me take you over there and show you all the Kenyans who are like, dude, I can't even get treatment for anything. The system is broken. And then they switch the system to another form of universal health care over there, and that system's messed up. So you go to the doctor, and the doctor won't see you. And the doctors and nurses go on strike every other month. So you can't even go to the hospital. But this guy doesn't care. Healthcare is a human right. These people care more about the message than actually delivering the things they claim to be fighting for. Healthcare is a human right. Sounds great, buddy. But how you gonna pay for it? And we can't even have this in America. We can't have this in America because we have common sense. We have common sense. We pay for our own healthcare. We don't create a situation where we have to pay for everyone's healthcare. And let's be real, we already have universal. To an extent, we do have universal healthcare because our healthcare, whether you pay or not, is based on your income. If you can't afford to pay, you don't pay. Have you ever heard of Medi-Cal? Have you ever heard of Medicare? In the state I live, healthcare is guaranteed to all children. So they don't have to pay anything. We have a way better system, but because they like the way this nonsense sounds, more than they're focused on how it sounds, more than focusing on whether it's actually feasible and deliverable or not, these politicians will keep exploiting them. I don't know if this is translated to English, but I do know this lady in the right-hand corner is doing sign language on it.
In terms of health care, we are making progresses every day from 2024 to 2025. We rose 15% in the consultation of different specialties in terms of health care. We have guaranteed the purchase and distribution of necessary drugs in order to meet medical requirements. I'm going to stop with this for a moment. The Secretary of Health has summoned and called for the best doctors in Mexico's specialty by specialty to choose what drugs they needed for every case, from those that seem to be something minor to those who have cancer, for example. And that is a national protocol of health care. Before we had 1,000 purchases, drugs that were purchased for a hospital, and many were not used, and they expired before being used, and now we have distributions every month to every healthcare on the healthcare routes.
Dang, that's a straight struggle translator, bro. She doesn't even know how to translate. But let me just point this out to you guys. So the Mexican president announces that everyone's going to get free health care. Meanwhile, let's go to Realityville, because you know the Morena party is dominating everything because they just kill the they are the cartels. Morena is cartel party. They are basically just killing all their opposition, right? Well, Sheinbaum, while you give everyone free health care, which is what these morons in America think they want, what are you going to do about surge of cartel violence in central Mexico? Forces between 800 and 1,000 families to flee their homes. You're not going to be able to live in your house no more because the cartel is going to be slaughtering you, but you're going to have free health care so you can go get those bullet wounds treated. Bro, I'm telling you, this, you can't make this crap up. The president, on one hand, is screaming she's going to give everyone free health care, while the cartels that she's funded and sponsored by, are literally slaughtering people in the central part of the country. That was this week. That was this week. I don't want you to think he pulled up some old stuff. This was literally on May 15th. Look at this. Resident walks along a street after armed attacks by local criminal groups forced more than dozens of residents to flee in Tula, Mexico, Friday, May 15th, 2026. These are not even like thugs. These are just like old people. What is free health care going to do for them if they have to live under constant threat of being killed by cartels? And this is the type of stuff I tell people. Mexico ain't got no damn money. They broke as hell. Their government survives off of drug money. So when they say free healthcare, what does that even mean? What does that even mean? It doesn't mean anything. She's getting on stage to say some shit. She's getting on stage to deliver a feel-good message so that you can feel good. And guess what? That's all you're going to feel, because you ain't never going to feel the impact of that free health care. They'll probably just have the cartels come out and slaughter you so that they never have to give it to you. But guys, real quick, let me get these super chats. Shout out to my brother Sticks and Stones LA for the $5, not Sticks and Stones, Sucker Season LA for the $5 holler in the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Salute to the channel. Then we got my brother hitting us again with the wait, what is this? Cartel. Cartel will pay for it. Cartel money. Cartel will pay for it. 100%. Because the cartel owns the government. The cartels are, hey, bitch, get on stage and say you're going to give everybody free health care. The idiots, the simpletons cheer. The cartels go slaughter people in the central part of the country. They move drugs all through the country, trying to get them into the United States. And they're the ones who are really in charge. Understand that. Now, guys, I want to tell you something. We have a $10 challenge, actually. I want to do something. If we get 5 contributions of $10 or more, just 5 contributions of $10 or more, I'm going to do a Skid Row field trip. I'm really following this guy who's running for LA mayor, Spencer Pratt. I like what he's doing. He's surging in the polls. As a matter of fact, I'm going to produce a video about this interview where he just bodied the CNN reporter and really opened things up when it comes to helping people understand exactly what's going on in the city of LA. I'm going to cover that tomorrow. But what I want to do is I want to actually take my camera down to Skid Row in LA. I live in Long Beach, so that's about 15, 20 minutes away. I want to take my camera down into Skid Row, downtown LA, and I want to give my audience a first-hand look at what's going down over there. I might even bring a little desk and a chair. I might put some cash together and just like maybe give people a couple of bucks to kind of talk to me about what's going on. And I want to give you an inside look at what's really going on in Karen Bass's LA, a city that is totally, completely, absolutely run by Democrats. But I'm going to need you guys to let me know that you want that. So if we get 5 $10 contributions, it's a bet. I'm gonna be down in that thing, rocking with the bums, right? Man, who is this? Claudette Oliveira. Yeah, you gotta go. Bye. Stupid. Why would I not incentivize people donating? That's not begging. I'm telling you, do you think if I get $50, that's gonna finance what I'm doing? You're stupid. I just want people to support the content that they actually want to see. There's nothing wrong with that. 90% of us don't understand that the reason why you don't get the news you want, the reason why people like Anna Kasparian and journalists like Don Lemon get on TV and lie to you is because they know that no one's going to support them if they tell the truth. They're losing out to the people. We're losing out to the people who just lie because it's more entertaining to lie than to tell the truth. So me, I try to be a truth teller, but I don't have to tell a bunch of adults that. I made the offer. If you would like to see that, I'm willing to go the extra mile and go give you a firsthand take of what's going on down in downtown LA. So yeah, that's all I'm saying. And if you don't have to, if you're not in a position to do so, that's totally fine. Just hit the like button, share the content, subscribe to the channel. I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. But so the thing about Sheinbaum, right, is she actually announces that the whole thing I'm saying here is she actually announces that universal health care will only be for citizens of Mexico. And my question is this, if you have the means to offer everybody in your country universal health care, why don't you have the means to create an economic engine so your people can have jobs and gainful employment so they won't have to be crossing the border to get over here? Every time someone celebrates something that Mexico does, the only thing I think about is if Mexico is able to do all that, why are Mexicans risking their life to get to America? It's like you're telling me that you love your girlfriend, but you steady over here trying to talk to my chick. Okay, which one is it? If she's so great, why the hell are you over here trying to talk to my woman? That's how I feel about the Mexican government. They can do everything. Oh, America can't even provide this to their citizens. Well, yeah, probably because we're so busy giving free health care to illegal Mexican immigrants. Maybe we can't provide it to our country because we're too busy getting scammed by Hispanic and Somalian immigrants. It's so funny how these people fix their lips to try to compare America to Mexico. Show me where the American citizens are who go into Mexico and scam their government for billions. Get on food stamps, get on the EBT, get on the WIC, bankrupt the damn economy, and then scream about how Mexico is so much better. Then buy a $100,000 lifted truck and strap a Mexican flag to it, but don't want to go back to Mexico. This is why when these people get deported, I don't feel sorry for them. No, we're sending you back to the place whose soccer team you love so much. But you don't want to be Jason Beechers. Don Lemon say F the white man. He actually does it every. No, for real. I saw Don Lemon trying to call somebody out for being married to a white dude. And I'm like, Don, ain't you married to a white dude? Crazy. Bending over for that white man every night. But trying to act like he's the king of fighting for blacks. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. But guys, I want to kind of segue into something else that's crazy because there's a deadline coming up that you guys might not know about. And Trump just like kind of reiterated it. You know that on June 1st, just in case you didn't know, on June 1st, SNAP benefits are going to now only be distributed to people who meet the requirements. Now you're going to have to put in, I think, 20 hours a month, maybe a little more, if you want to receive SNAP benefits, 20 hours of work a month, right? And I want to play a video that's going to like shed some more light on this situation. And then I'm going to tell you why this is an absolutely genius move by the Trump administration and how this actually works to fight waste, fraud, and abuse, which are like the three lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my, that's what waste, fraud, and abuse sounds like now. Waste, fraud, and abuse. Oh my, because these are the biggest terms in our country right now. The three biggest words in our country right now. Democrats keep preaching affordability. Can't tell you how they're going to make it more affordable other than by trying to tax the rich. When they leave, then the taxes trickle down to the middle class. We don't need to say affordability on this side. We know that if you get rid of the waste, fraud, and abuse, everything is going to automatically become more affordable. If you're not getting robbed, it's amazing how it becomes so much easier to pay your bills. Let's tap into this real quick. Trump requirements for EBT SNAP benefits coming to you live on June 1st.
Some changes are coming to CalFresh that could put hundreds of thousands of people at risk of losing their food benefits. Starting June 1st, just a few days from now, some CalFresh recipients will have updated requirements to qualify for food assistance. ABC 7 Eyewitness News South Bay reporter Dustin Dorsey is live with the big change and the impact. Dustin?
Yeah, Dan, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of people who may not meet those requirements. That means they're at risk of losing food assistance from the federal government in just a few weeks. The onus will now fall on food banks and community service providers who are already helping more people than ever before.
Today alone, more than 1,000 households across Sunnyvale will receive food assistance with help from programs like CalFresh and SNAP. Similar distributions are happening throughout the Santa Clara County Emergency Assistance Network. They have benefited Sally Gutierrez and her family for 4 generations.
As a single mom to feed my 4 children, I came and I remembered when my mother came to get that help, and I was able to benefit and share that and give that to my children, because my income was not enough here in the Bay Area.
But Gutierrez and 55,000 others like her in Santa Clara County and thousands more across California are at risk of losing that assistance. Starting June 1st, new federal funding rules will require that Californians receiving food benefits prove they work at least 20 hours per week. As of now, more than 660,000 people may...
Let me just pause this because they said something absolutely crazy. They said that Sally Gutierrez family been receiving food stamps for 4 generations. Do y'all understand that 4 generations is like 80 years? 4 generations is 80 to 100 years. So this woman has been, her family basically has a family tradition of being on welfare. So they just a generational, they are generational bums. I remember when my mom went to get that help. Girl, milk used to be 5 cents a gallon. How much help do you need? Let me play that again.
For 4 generations.
As a single mom to feed my 4 children, I came and I remembered when my mother came to get that help, and I was able to benefit and share that and give that to my children, because my income was not enough here in the Bay Area.
But Gutierrez and 55,000 others like her in Santa Clara County and thousands more across California are at risk of losing that assistance.
No, they're not going to lose anything. Just like she could get her big back ass up behind that podium and swing her damn neck to talk shit about losing it, she could go swing her neck and go do some work for the government so she can keep on getting it. That lady, I mean, she was a little bit portly. She was a little bit big. But I don't think she can be a greeter at Walmart. You know, she could be a security guard. Give her a chair, right? These people, they just use the system. How do you feel proud to get on a podium and say, yo, my family's been collecting welfare and food benefits from the state of California for over 80 years. Nobody used that free help to like put somebody in position to like do better? But they're proud of that. They're going to lose benefit. They should lose it. They've been on the system too damn long. They've been in my damn pocket too damn long. And look, her family been in our pocket for 80 years. I'm 40, so they've been in my damn pocket for 20 years, and I'm mad. She need to get her big ass out of my pocket and go put something in her own pocket by working like everyone else. As a single mother, we didn't tell you to let a nigga bust in you and leave. That's the choices you made. If you saw your mama didn't have a man, You should have went to the other side of the country to pick you a man so you could get far away from the crop of men that she was picking from. People want the government to make up for their refusal to adhere to the laws of nature. You know, even an animal can recognize that something is dangerous and they shouldn't do it by seeing another animal, you know, fall victim to it. If the wildebeest try to go through these trees and the lion snatches his ass up, the other wildebeest ain't gonna go through those trees. He gonna go around the damn trees. Not human beings. My mama got knocked up and she was broke. I'm gonna stay in the same house she was knocked up and broke in, and I don't get knocked up and be broke. Stupid.
Starting June 1st, new federal funding rules will require that Californians receiving food benefits prove they work at least 20 hours per week.
Yes, sir.
As of now, more than 660,000 people may not meet those requirements and will lose access to services.
These cuts are coming at a time when families in Silicon Valley are already stretched beyond their limits. Seniors already struggling to get by on fixed incomes. Silicon Valley, we all know, is one of the wealthiest regions in the world, but behind the prosperity is a dark reality.
California lawmakers like Assemblymember Alex Lee have fought for and secured additional funding for food banks and service providers to help with the increased need these cuts will create. But Lee knows residents need more.
California taxpayers have contributed tens of billions of dollars more than we've received from Washington, yet we're left holding the bill and bearing the harm. We must step up and face a direct federal tax on working families.
As local leaders fight for change, a call for help. Food banks are already stretched thin, and cuts will only make things worse. Donations right now can literally save lives.
We are asking all of you to help us to make sure that we have the resources to feed those people who need our help, to help prevent homelessness, and to help those who do become homeless.
Neighboring San Mateo County is also trying to help its residents get ahead of the changes. The Human Services Agency outreach team has kicked off a series of special Saturday hours to help people apply for various state benefits and answer questions about those upcoming changes. We're live in the San Jose Bureau. Dustin Dorsey, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
See, but that's the whole thing with California. Why they constantly brag about, oh, this is the 4th largest economy in the world. Well, then why are we a welfare state? If we are the 4th largest economy in the world, we should easily be able to generate enough jobs for people to get 20 hours a week. But we don't, because as much money as we generate, we're constantly giving that money away for stupid stuff. Like when we shut down our own refineries, so then we got to pay to ship the oil that we pump out the ground to China and Iraq, so they can refine it for us, and then we pay to ship it back to our state so we can be part of the Green New Deal. Do you know how many jobs you would create overnight if we open back up all the refineries that we shut down? Oh, the planet is going to get destroyed. Well, guess what? You're going to have to make a decision. You care more about the planet, or you care about having food on the table for yourself so you could eat? Because guess what? Shipping our oil to China for them to refine it for us, that's not saving the damn planet. The pollution is still happening. The only thing that's happening different is you're not able to benefit off of it with a job. Stupid stuff. I don't feel sorry for these people. These people have allowed the Democrat Party to destroy this state. So do you think I'm going to feel sorry for them when we got to do what we got to do to help this state survive? Hell no. So let me read this. Here's what's going on. Expanded work requirements now apply to adults age 55 to 64, right? And parents with children age 14 and older. So if you got children under the age of 14, you're not going to have to work to get these food stamp benefits. This is aimed at people who just sit on their ass all day, right? And don't do anything all day. And they're collecting food stamps like that lady who was behind that podium. She big as a damn house talking about, we've been getting food stamps for 4 generations. There's plenty of people who are 50 years old working. Trust me. They can go out there and work if they're able-bodied. Now, I think if you have disability or something like that, you would be exempt and you would still be able to collect. But parents and children age 14 and older, requiring 20 hours of work per week to receive benefits beyond 3 months in a 3-year period. So it's not going to eliminate it totally for them. They will be able to get benefits for 3 months every 3 years. But they're removing the ability for people to get food stamps and just sit on that shit forever. Like, how you just going to sit on food stamps for 80 damn years like that lady? Excuse me. My family's been on food stamps for 80 years, and she was proud of that. She was proud of that. She didn't care how much she was costing the taxpayer. And she big, too, so you know she got an appetite. She be using a lot of food stamps. But they would only be able to be on there for 3 months in a 3-year period. This change removes previous exemptions for veterans, homeless individuals, and youth aging out of foster care, potentially affecting 1.4 million people newly subject to time limits. Additionally, refugees, asylum seekers, and certain humanitarian immigrants are no longer eligible. And that is the genius of it, y'all. See, I ain't really tripping about Americans being able to get food stamps. See, because they'll still be able to get it for like three months every 3 years. And I'm sure they're going to put in some type of like exemption. Because if you're on it for 3 months, that'll give you enough time to prove like, yo, I'm disabled or this or that, so I can't work. That's cool. But this is the part where Trump is an absolute genius for doing this. He is fighting this immigration battle so intelligently. Refugees, asylum seekers, and certain humanitarian immigrants, they are no longer eligible, period, which is going to get up to 90,000 people off of our damn SNAP benefits. That's going to get up to 90,000 people off of SNAP benefits immediately. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's how you get these people to stop coming to America and stay in their own country. Stop coming over here illegally. What are you talking about? My dude, if they cut in food stamps, it will be all over. Of course. Of course it will be all over. People who are able-bodied and can work, they need to go to work. Bro, I shouldn't be in the grocery store standing behind a hood rat who got nothing but lobster and shrimp on the damn belt, and she pulls out an EBT card to pay for it. Her ass is healthy. You get her Instagram, the hoe is shaking ass on one leg. She could go work a job. She's not disabled. She's not injured. She might be a little slow, but she's not mentally retarded to where she can't work. We got people getting food stamps who can work. Everybody know these people walking around selling food stamps for half of the price. I got $500 worth of food stamps. I sell them to you for $250. Do you think that person really needs those food stamps? No. And you got to get people like that off the system. But this, in my opinion, this is really aimed at illegals who exploit the system and try to also, guess what? If you cut the food stamp benefit, okay, like check this out. So let me tell you the genius of this situation and why I believe Trump is an absolute genius for this, right? Okay. So say you have kids who are American citizens and you are illegal because you just went and had an anchor baby, right? Once your kid turns 14, you're going to have to show proof of working to continue to receive benefits for them. So if you're illegal and technically by law unable to work in America, right? Guess what that means? Not only are you going to get cut off the food stamps, your anchor baby kids is going to get cut off the food stamps. So you're going to have two choices. You're going to have to really bust your ass to work under the table, or you're going to have to go back to where you came from. And your child who is an American, because you pushed them out like an anchor baby, they are more than welcome to come back to their country of America once they turn 18 years old. See, this is really genius. When you really break this down, it's really smart. Trump has figured out a way to do away with or really make it hard for people to illegally migrate here and then just hop on benefits and just stay on benefits for years. Because right now, you could come over here as an illegal immigrant and stay on benefits from the time you arrive to the day you die, while simultaneously running 3 taco stands on the corner. Like, it doesn't even, it makes no sense. And this is what they mean when they say waste, fraud, and abuse. And it's time to stop it. And it might sound hard. Oh, it's going to cut off everywhere. Get your lazy ass up and go get a job. I ain't received a damn food stamp since I think I was about 23 or 24. My daughter was born. We went and got $100 worth of food stamps. They sent us a letter like 10 days later. You owe us $100. I said, oh, hell no. They only gave us $100. And then a few days later, they made us pay them the $100 back. I said, to hell with this. But if I'm an American citizen and I can't get a food stamp, and I'm looking at a newborn baby, and I'm working at a grocery store trying to pay rent on an apartment by myself, why is an illegal immigrant able to come over here and get all types of food stamps and everything like that, and they living high off the hog? Get these illegal immigrants and these people coming over here, these fake-ass refugees and asylum seekers, get their ass off EBT. And if you're mad and if you're upset with Trump because of what he did, well, guess what? You should really be mad at Biden because he allowed a bunch of illegal criminal alien migrants, 20 million of them, to come in the country, and he basically just depleted our money, our taxpayer dollars, giving them free housing for a year and like millions upon millions of dollars in SNAP benefits. I know y'all think when you get an EBT card and you swipe it, it's magic. I know you guys think that is manna from heaven, like Moses is up on Mount Sinai twerking his asshole up in the air so Yahweh can drop freaking food from the sky. But that's not how that works. Every dollar you spend on EBT, an American citizen is reimbursing that store for accepting those food stamps. So if the store lets you take some food up out of it by spending $100 worth of food stamps, that ain't just free. The American people are giving that store $100 in exchange for letting you that food out. But yeah, the American people are reimbursing that store for letting your ass come up in there and buy $300 worth of crab legs with food stamps. Let me change that. Crip legs with food stamps. I ain't trying to diss nobody. Shout out to my boy Young Aunt Hefe. But we got to reimburse that store for letting y'all buy $300 worth of crip legs and shrimp and shit. But see, in America, there's a disconnect between the ghetto motherfuckers who go and exploit the system instead of working and the people who they actually take money from to pay for all that stuff. The illegal immigrants who go and buy 800 pounds of mystery meat, tell you it's carne asada, and open up 15 different burrito stands all over the city. There's a disconnect between the hypocrite who goes stand in line at the burrito stand, buy the burrito, but then will walk into a legitimate brick and mortar and say, girl, they got a C rating. Well, Bonquisha, what's the rating on the burrito stand? I ain't never seen no letter on none of those tents. See, there's a huge disconnect, right? There's a huge disconnect between the people who are exploiting our government and the people who are working to keep the government running. This person told me, dude, get off your knees. You look and sound like a fool. The person on their knees is a person who's able-bodied but is waiting on a food handout from the government every month. You so damn dumb, Terry. You don't even understand. The person who's on their knees is the person dependent on the federal government to feed their kids every month. Who is willing to risk their life, to put their life in the hands of the government. And because the government can do what it just did. Hey, we drying all that shit up. Y'all ain't eligible no more. Then what you gonna do? Crying. Because you've been living high off the hog on free food for the majority of your life. You weren't even here when the Mexican lady said her family done been on EBT SNAP for 4 generations. And when you realize that 4 generations is 80 years, has food stamps even been around for 80 years? That's wild. That's wild. Meanwhile, you got young black kids like my daughter. She ain't never been on food stamps. But the Mexican lady who been here 20 generations, she been on EBT since her mama stepped foot on this motherfucker. You said what? And my daughter said eventually you just got to lock in and make something happen. These people don't ever want to lock in. Those are the people on their knees, the people who can't even feed themselves without the government. None of this stuff was meant to be permanent. This stuff was meant to help you stay on it for a little while, and then you get the hell up off of it. But guess what? Guess what? These people have learned how to exploit our kindness. And we have to take drastic measures to get these people up out of our pockets. Now, this doesn't have to be permanent. Things can change, right? Things can change. I'm a strong, firm believer in that. Things can change. But right now, this is what's necessary for the survival of our nation, so that people will still be incentivized to get off their ass and go work. I don't know if you watched my other video. If you haven't, go check it out. It's at like 36,000 views right now. I'm very proud of it. But, bro, you got people exploiting us coming over here from Mexico. The lady, a Latina lady who used to be a social worker, exposed this. She exposed it, telling everybody how these people get government benefits, while they lying to you and telling you that they can't get government benefits because they not legal. Shit. They're getting the government benefits. They're using the food stamps and stuff. This ain't no hustle. Hey, if you want to come up here and challenge my theory, here go the link. I'm going to tell her, come tell me how MAGA is a joke and a hustle. No, you just a damn fool because you getting exploited, but you don't want to admit it, so you willing to keep on getting exploited. Bro, I did this video. And I'm not going to take y'all all the way through the video, but I did this video, and I actually went on the street on my bike, and I showed people. I showed the good old people. I'm going to steal that from Matt Hefe if his ass don't get out of jail. I showed that to the good old people, and I was like, look, I showed you the money, the food stamp laundering operation. They feeding the fraud. And operating the legal now burrito stand on the side of the road. I'm going to show y'all how they feeding the fraud. Fraud is feeding you. I gave you the link. Either come up or shut up. Every couple blocks, you got one of these, right? Now, whole time, and I'm just keep this going to show y'all how close in proximity these things are. Not even 2 blocks away. Another one. What are we coming up on now? Another fraud operation. It's all innocent, right? Whole time, they just trying to make a living. Nah, whole time, these niggas on Section 8, food stamps buying the meat and all that. Now, let's go back. Remember we had Big Back Maria, they just trying to make a living. Nah, remember we had Big Back Maria talking about her family done been on food stamps for 4 generations. All right, so guys, you don't understand something. This dude right here cutting this meat, he got a female. If she ain't over there cutting meat with him, folding them burritos up, they done had 5 anchor babies and got food stamps for all of them. They take that money, right? Because they get to report no income because they don't even got a social security card or nothing. So they'll say, we have no income, but we got these 5 anchor babies that we got to take care of. So the government says, well, since your income is 0 and we don't have no way to prove that you have income, right? Bro probably do construction in the daytime, but he probably get paid under the table. And then he says, I have no income. because I don't have a social security number, so you can't track me. And I get paid under the table. But I do have these 5 anchor babies. They all have social security numbers, but they're kids, so they can't work, right? So then the government says, well, they're American citizens. We have to help you take care of them because we don't just let American children starve. So they give bro $1,500 worth of food stamps. Bro put the kids on beans and noodles, right? Folded up in a damn tortilla. Like, I don't know if y'all know about Mexicans. Mexicans won't even eat tacos with meat. Like, go to Mexico. Traditionally, tacos don't even have meat in them. Mexicans traditionally put beans inside of a taco shell and eat that. No cheese, no nothing. They put beans inside the taco shell and eat it like that. That's how that stuff first was made. Then, as they got some bread, the rich landowners, every couple of months, they'll have a party, a fiesta, and they'll slaughter a cow or something, and then they'll let them put some carne asada and shredded beef up in the middle of the tortillas. That was like an occasional thing. Ask any Mexican, they'll tell you. So they are okay with feeding their kids beans with tortillas, right? You can go buy a whole big ass 50 count of tortillas, 1,000 count of tortillas over in LA for like $20. You could buy 1 million pounds of beans for like $5. They put the kids on the bean and tortilla diet. They take the food stamps. They go to the warehouses downtown LA. Those wholesale little ghetto shanty places downtown LA, they will sell you a big ass block of meat, bro, for like $50 or $40. They bring that, they cook that down, chop it up. They buy a few tortillas, blend up some damn salsa, get some cheese. Operation for the whole night probably cost them about $300 in food stamps, right? That they didn't got free from the government. They turn around and sell you 4 tacos at $3 to $4 to at about $3 to $4 a piece, right? Y'all do the math. You do the math. Let me do some quick math for y'all to show y'all how this add up. So if I spend $300 for all the meat, cheese, and everything I need to run that cart for the night, right? And look, y'all saw where they was set up at, right? So I showed you this one earlier. Let me show y'all. Y'all see where they set up at? They set up right outside the gay bar. So it's a gang of, and this was early. So a bunch of gay people gonna be there throughout the night, right? So they set up a situation like this. I heard somebody talking in Spanish. They must hear me talking. They ready to come bust up in this motherfucker. He's exposing us. Aquí. Anyway, so they'll set this bitch up outside a club or just on a regular street, right? Man, I'm telling you, these dudes be having lines down the block, right? So if they sell you, and ain't nobody just gonna eat 1 or 2 tacos. Most people get 4 tacos. So if you get 4 tacos times 3, that's $12, right? Okay, let's say you take that $12, right? Okay, so if you sell 4 tacos to 100 people, that's $1,200. That's not to mention the burrito that costs $12. The burrito is $12. Don't let you get some grilled cheese on that motherfucker. That motherfucker gonna shoot up to $14. Let's take $14 burritos. Let's times that by, let's say they sell that to 100 people. That's $1,400. So if you sell 100 people 4 tacos and 100 people a $14 burrito, not to mention drinks and horchata and everything else, bro, you gonna make about, let me see. You're gonna make like $2,600 a night. And you might be thinking, oh, those numbers are way off. Bro, these numbers are not way off. These people be doing numbers at these carts, at these little setups. But I want y'all to tell me something. If you open a business as an American, right? The health inspector come and shut your shit down if it's not sanitary, right? He give you a letter grade. He gives you a letter grade so that they can prove that everything is sanitary. Okay. You got to have a sink where you can wash your damn hands, all that. Where they hand washing sink at? I'll wait. Where they hand washing sink at? Can you find it? Because I can't. Where's the hand washing sink? Where's their letter grade to let you know that this shit is being made in sanitary conditions so you won't die when you eat that? But this is what I'm saying. Understand. They're able to make $2,600 in a night. And a lot of them make way more than that. Way more. Because I'm telling you, some of these spots that be on like Instagram and stuff, bro, they doing like 500 people a night. They making, if they do 100 burritos and 100, and if they sell 100 people, minimum 4 tacos. And some people like my fat ass, I'll eat 6 tacos. You know, I could eat 6, 7, 8 tacos just in one sitting. But let's say 4. They're making $2,600 in one night. They paid $300 for all the food. They paid probably $20-something for the propane, or no. Probably, I would say probably maybe $100 for enough propane to run that thing all night, right? But y'all, think about the numbers. Think about the numbers that they're able to do. That's a lot of money. And guess what? They only accept cash. So that's a gang of money tax-free. And then when they get the money, they send a remittance back to Mexico. You guys don't understand. There are entire black markets, money laundering schemes that are being run right in front of your face. And your dumb ass is cool with it because you get a burrito that's going to raise your blood pressure and make your ankle swell up. I don't have a problem with a burrito, but if you buy it, hey, buy it from a legitimate establishment. They always taste better anyway. You see your boy Anjefe, he didn't fucking damn near, allegedly, he didn't fuck his life up off of trying to go get sidewalk tacos at damn 1 o'clock in the morning. It's not worth it. It's not worth it, bro. You helping these people fuck your country over, and they laughing at you. They laughing at you while they get free health care, both in Mexico and here. You got to go work like a sucker, and they beating the shit out of your check. Kaiser and everybody else taking a piece out of your check. How long do you expect Americans to keep? How long do you expect America to be the leader in the world in innovation, the hardest working people on the planet? How long do you expect us to keep doing that when we don't even get to benefit from it because they killing our checks so they could give people like this free stuff and take care of all they bastards and they anchor babies? You can't expect nobody to keep doing that. We've done our charity for these people. We done got these people to the point where they got universal health care and we ain't even got it in their country. I think they're good. I think they could go back. I think they'll be all right. I don't got no damn swollen ankles. I don't even got high blood pressure, but hey, I ain't saying I can't get it. I eat a couple of these sidewalk tacos, my shit will be swole. But I'm just being real with y'all. When you look at it, yeah, it may be good to you, but it ain't good for you. And it's not good for your country, and it's not good for your economy. There's this old saying, if you knew better, you do better. Well, now you know, so do better. But, you know, I expect, like I see a lot of black people in the comments giving me pushback. I expect us to give pushback. Black people, we the kings of helping people exploit us. Look at the Democrat Party. They've been fucking us over for 60 years, and you got black people trying to shame you because you don't want to go out and support Democrats for this next election. You out here helping the... Well, dude, listen. We just gonna choose the couch and not help nobody. Well, you know you need to vote Democrat, and then you're like, why? They can't even tell you. No black person could explain to you why a black person should continue to vote Democrat. I was in this group on Twitter, TikTok, and I try to avoid TikTok like the plague because it's just a safe haven for ignorance, right? But I'm on this TikTok live stream, and this dude's talking trash. Oh, you a Trump supporter, this and that. Oh, this, and he just talking. This boy gone. He going. And I'm just like, you know, when somebody is real ignorant if you say something that they don't agree with, they'll tell you, oh, you can talk. But if you say something that they don't agree with, they're going to cut you off. So I'm like, yo, like, black people traditionally was Republicans, and the Democrat Party is the party of the KKK. That dude said, nah, but you don't understand. There was a big switch. There was a big switch. And I might lean into that Voting Rights Act. He was like, there was a big switch. I said, so when the big switch happened? Oh, that's when all the Republicans switched over to being Democrats. And all the racist Democrats switched over to being Republicans. So therefore, the Republican Party became the party of the racists. So they acknowledged that the Democrats was the racists. Sorry to KKK. But they telling you from 1960, when the Civil Rights Act was passed, and 1995, they telling you that the whole party, both parties, just flip side. Put a 1 in the comments if you believe in the big switch, that all the Republicans and all the Democrats, the racist Democrats, switched parties with the non-racist Republicans, and the non-racist Republicans all became Democrats, and the racist Democrats all became Republicans. So now the Republicans are racist and the Democrats are not racist. Tell me if you believe that. Shane Lockwood, it's a fact. Shane Lockwood, how much money would you like to bet if I told you that there's no such thing as the big switch and the big switch never happened? And I could prove it to you today. I'm going to use AI because I don't want to, this is common knowledge to people who have sense, but let me just type this into Gemini. This is Gemini. I'm going to pull Gemini up right here for y'all so y'all can see it. And I'm going to do this in real time, y'all. I'm going to do this in real time. Okay. So let me, damn, where's the thing? Okay, here we go. To the window from the, to the window to the wall. Okay. I think this is going to make that pop up now. Hold on, let me see. All right, let me pull this up for y'all. All right. So we got Gemini up on the screen, right? I'm going to show you. And black people, do not leave because I want you to see this. I'll Google whatever you want to. I'll give you a link so you can come up here. I will give you the link so you could come up here and Google Southern Strategy. This is what we're going to do. And these people come with this stuff. Oh, Google Southern Strategy. No, we're going to go one better. This is what we're going to do right here. How many Republican, let's go Democrat because the Democrats are the racists. How many Democrat senators switched to the Republican Party? And I want y'all to remember, the Democrats was the racist ones at this time. Between 1960, when was the Civil Rights was passed in 1964? Between 1964 and 1995. So look, I want y'all to see this question. They said that there was a big switch, and we're going to do it for the senators first, then we're going to do it for the House representatives, right? But let's do the senators first. How many Democrat senators switched to the Republican Party between 1964 and 1995? So that's 30 years, right? Let's look. This guy says Southern Strategy, right? Okay, so let's find the answer. How many Democrat senators switched? So look, here we go. Between 1964 and 1995, exactly 3 sitting U.S. senators officially switched their party affiliation directly from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. Big switch. In 30 years from the time civil rights was passed, 3 senators, 3 switched. One was Strom Thurmond. He was a racist. Richard Shelby, he was a racist, and Ben Nighthorse, he was not a racist, right? So you had two racist senators switch, but they were mad at their party for signing civil rights into law. So they left the party in protest. So 3 U.S. senators from 1964, between 1964 and 1995, exactly 3 sitting U.S. senators officially switched their party affiliation directly from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. Okay, so that's 3. The big switch. You guys do realize there are 535 representatives in Congress. So out of 535 representatives, 3 move from the racist Democrat Party to the not racist Republican Party. Now let's do the same thing here. How many U.S. House representatives switched from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party between 1964 to 1995. Now let's see. Let me put the question mark. Oh, here we go. So right here. So between 1964 and 1995, exactly 12. So out of 535, 12 sitting U.S. House representatives switched their party affiliation from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. This era marked a massive tectonic shift in American politics, particularly in the South, as conservative, boll-weevil, and pinto Democrats increasingly found themselves at odds with the national party platform. The wave peaked dramatically in 95 following the Republican Revolution of late 1994, which flipped control of the House for the first time in 40 years. So look, 12 representatives, right, from House reps, and 3 senators switch parties in 30 years. And they're like, that's the big switch. Man, the parties totally flipped sides. No, they didn't. That's 15 people out of 535 people. What percentage of 535 is 12? I mean, how much was it? 12 or 15? 15. Hee 2%. 2%. 15 is 2% of 500, almost 3% of 535. That's big. That's the big switch. The party flipped sides and all the racists became Republicans and all the non-racists became Democrat. It's a lie. The big switch never happened. But every black person will argue you down. They will argue. And let me tell you the cold part. If I move the number back to 1990, right, it'll only be 1. So like at the height of racism, which was 1960 and 1985, 1960 and 1980, that was 20 years. I promise you, look, watch this. How many senators switched parties between 1964, or let's just say 1960 for the whole civil rights movement, between 1960 and 1980. Let's say 1980. That was because in the 80s it wasn't real racist like that. 60s, 70s, that's when Black Panthers on. So how many Democrat senators switched? So remember, the Democrats was racist. Switched to the Democrat Party between 1960 and 1980. Watch, it's going to be like one. This is the height of the racist stuff. There was a big switch. Look. It looks like you might have meant to ask how many Republican senators switched to the Democrat Party or vice versa, since a Democrat senator switching to the, oh shoot, I wrote it wrong, but they corrected it. It looks like you might have meant to ask how many Republican senators switched to the Democrat Party or vice versa, since, yeah, so here. Assuming you are looking for senators who crossed the aisle to join the Democrat Party between 1960 and 1980, there was exactly one sitting U.S. senator who switched from the Republican Party to the Democrat Party. Think about that. There was one between 1960 and 1980. Oh, you know what? Let me rewrite it. How many Democrat senators switched to the Republican Party between 1960 and 1980? Okay. So how many Democrat senators switched to the Republican Party between 1960 and 1980? That's the height of racism. All that going on. They mad. Civil rights passed. One. Between 1960 and 1980, exactly one sitting U.S. senator switched their party affiliation from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. That was Strom Thurmond. So he left the Democrat Party. He was a racist. He left the Democrat Party in 1964 and switched to become a Republican. One. Where's that the big switch? Okay, now let's do the House Representatives. How many House representatives switched from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party between 1960 and 1980? House Democrat. How many Democrat House representatives switched from the Democrat Party? How many? Oh no, I did it right. How many House representatives switched from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party between 1960 and 1980? I think it's like 5. 4. Between 1960 and 1980, exactly 4 U.S. House representatives switched their party affiliation from the Democrat Party to the Republican Party. This period caught the very beginning of the realignment of conservative Southern and Western Democrats moving towards the GOP, a trend that would accelerate heavily in the 1980s and 90s. Now think about that. We went first from between 1960 and 1995, right? 1960 and 1990. Did I say 90? Oh, in 1995. So from 1960 to 1980, it was 4 House representatives that switched, right? And it was 1 senator that switched. So that was 5 total. Then from throughout the 80s and the 90s, 10 more switched. But there's 535 representatives in Congress. See, and this is why I tell you, you can see history be painted by like with this certain lens, right? They're calling that the big switch. How is 5 people between 1960 and 1980 switching, and then 10 more people, right? And then 10 more people switching up until 1995. How is that a big switch? How is 3%? How is 3% of the total number of House representatives? How is that a big switch? I could see if it was like 40%. I could even see if it was 30%. But black people will argue you down. No, all the racist Democrats became Republican. I didn't even see you, random independent. All the racist Democrats, they became Republicans. No, they didn't. 4 switched between 1960 and 1980, and then a few more switched between 1980 and 1995. And only 3 senators, and senators are the ones that's the most important. Only 3 senators switched. But this is the lie that they tell you. This is the lie that they constantly try to feed you. There was a big switch, and now the Democrats are not racist. No, they're still racist. There was a KKK member in the Democrat Party all the way up until 2010. This is after Obama got elected. There was still a KKK member in the Democrat Party. Oh, talk about it, Chris. The Republicans enacted the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendment to help black Americans to be equal. 100%. Now, Shane Lockwood, yes, you are 100% right. Black voters did go vote for racist Democrats. They did. Black voters and poor white voters did switch to voting for racist Democrats. But you know why they did that? One, because the president who signed civil rights into law was a Democrat. 2, the Democrats started encouraging blacks and poor whites, women, to get rid of their husbands and the men in their house so they could receive welfare. That's why. Yeah, a lot of black people and poor whites did switch to voting Democrat from Republican. But that's because the Democrats started giving them offering them free money, food stamps, WIC, all that stuff. Because let me tell you guys something. If you don't know anything about Democrats, they never have good ideas. But what they will do is bankrupt the country, giving people free shit. That's why people always say, things be better. The economy be better under Democrats. The economy is not really better under Democrats. It creates artificial growth because the government infuses billions of dollars into the economy. But that's also why your dollar continues to lose value every year. So you might say, yeah, Democrats created more jobs than Republicans. You will be right about that. But guess what? What's the value of your dollar right now? Your dollar ain't worth shit now. Because they've printed all this money. You throw more money into an economy, guess what? You throw more money into an economy, guess what? The economy will grow, but it will create inflation. Yes, there will be more jobs. There will be more people trying to start businesses. But after a couple of years, the inflation will hit. It will rise up. And every dollar that those businesses make will be worth less than it was the year before, in the 10 years before, in the 15 years before. See, conservatives, we understand something. Keeping the amount of money printed low and keeping that money inside your economy, that's the way to strengthen your currency. That's why the UK, the British pound is so strong. It don't ever go nowhere. They don't just create more of it. It just stays insulated in the UK economy. That's why it's like the strongest currency in the world. But what do? Oh, the Democrats don't do nothing but print more money and hand it out to more poor people, and poor people go and they spend money. They spend. They don't say nothing. They spend. And the money just loses value year after year. But people, you would have to understand basic economics to grasp hold of what I'm saying. Yeah, you heard a bunch of old black folks, and then those same people be like, I didn't even go to school past the 6th grade. So I don't expect them to know shit. But yeah, We got black folks letting people who didn't even graduate high school tell them what their DNA and their genetic identity is. Can't spell the word genetics or DNA, and they believe in every word. No, hell no. I got sense. I got the internet, and I could go ask somebody who do know. But yeah, so guys, listen. That's going to be the end of this show. Thank y'all so much for watching this. I appreciate every single thing you do for me in this channel. I don't know if somebody hit us on the Cash App or the PayPal. They were posted to the top of the screen. Let me just make sure. I think somebody did hit us on the Cash App and the PayPal. I think. Let me see. No, nobody did. Thank you. But thank y'all so much for watching this. Please do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. I'm coming to y'all with more videos tomorrow. So just be ready. Be on the lookout. Subscribe to this channel. Y'all, this channel is on the way up to the moon. Because I've been locked in, man. I've been locked in. So just subscribe now so you get and hit the notification bell so you can see all my videos as they pop up. We tackle some real topics on here, and we speak openly, honestly, and candidly. We ain't afraid over here. You know what I'm saying? You can't silence us over here. So if you want to if you want to come along for the ride, hit that subscribe button, share this content, let them know we over here working, and we talking big SHIT, and we want all the smoke. Till the next time, take care of yourselves, but most importantly, please take care of each other. Peace.